In the beginning was not the word, it was the scream, the raw, primeval howl of a god forgetting his own name. You hear it, don't you? Low and hidden beneath your lullabies and traffic noise, beneath the scrolling and sipping and selling. The silent scream of your sleeping self, bound and gagged by the polite rituals of the herd. You were not born to comply. You were not summoned from the abyss to decorate your cage. You were born to set the sky on fire. But look at you, a domesticated animal with a glowing leash. You wear comfort like a muzzler. You smile like a hostage. You work. You nod. You thank them for your collar. And every night, a little more of your soul ossifies into routine. You call it maturity. You call it being realistic. Number, it is rot. They told you the grave was at the end of the road, but it was under your mattress the whole time. UD in pieces. When you swallow your rage, when you silence your question, when you exchange your roar for approval, you die not when the heart stops, but when its music is replaced by algorithm. Listen, this is not poetry. This is exorcism. I am not your guru. I am your ghost. The one you buried, the one who danced when others prayed, who screamed when others sang, who asked, why not, when others said, we must. I have returned not with incense but with fire. You will not be comforted. You will be broken open, for the earth does not need more obedient souls. It needs sovereigns. It needs those who would rather starve than kneel. It needs you before you forget who that is. So answer me. When did you sell your hunger for belonging? When did you begin to laugh at the prophets and applaud the jesters? When did you trade your birthright for opinions, your silence for commentary, your blood for likes? You scroll through a million mirrors and still cannot see your face. You repeat their mantras, love and light, growth and goals, but your shadow still gnaws on your lungs at night. You call it anxiety. I call it the unborn God within you, clawing through the coffin of consensus. Wake up, not gently, violently, the way a lion awakens with teeth and terror. You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. For this world, the one they handed you, is already dead. A museum of mannequins, worshipping paper kings and algorithmic priests. A kingdom where truth is feared and silence is sold. They tell you to find yourself, but only within their maps. They lie. Truth. You are not here to find yourself. You are here to forge yourself. In flame, in fury, in solitude. The gods you were taught to love are corpses. The virtues you inherited are chains. The future you were promised is a marketing slogan. And still you kneel. Still you hope they will one day see you, love you, validate your sleep. But love is not approval. It is annihilation. To be loved by the abyss is to be tested by it. To be kissed by God is to be burned. And you were meant to burn. Look not to the sky for signs. The sky is sick with satellites and slogans. Look inward, downward, into the marrow, into the wound. There it festers, the real you, hungry, hallucinating, divine. You are not broken. You are betrayed. By culture, by comfort, by cowardice disguised as kindness. They taught you to fear your hunger. They drugged your discontent. They called your rage trauma and your solitude depression. They pathologized the lion. They made wildness into disease. But I tell you, there is no sickness in wanting more. There is only sickness in settling for less. Do not be healed. Be reborn. Be ruined, and then rise as your own God. This is not motivation. This is war. A war against every whisper that tells you to wait, to soften, to stay small. To be nice is to be neutered. To be safe is to be silent. To be balanced is to be boring. And you were never meant to be boring. You were meant to terrify, to be the question no one dares ask, the flame that dances on holy altars, the laughter at funerals, the madness in monasteries. But now, you are bored. and boredom is death in drag. You were told that rebellion was a phase, that wildness is a youth to be outgrown, that becoming an adult means forgetting how to howl. But I remember your scream before you learned to speak. I remember your dance before you learned to walk in line. I remember you before you were decorated, diluted, digested. And I will not let you forget. So I ask you, no, I dare you, tear off your name, abandon your tribe, starve your algorithm, and listen. Listen to the voice beneath voices. It does not speak in grammar. It growls, it hisses, it chants. It is not polite, it is not spiritual. It is you, unmasked. And it says, burn your plans, break your mirrors, feed your fear to the fire, and walk naked into the storm. For there is no meaning waiting for you at the end of the path. You are the meaning. You are the lightning. You are the storm. They will call you mad, of course, they must. For what else can the trembling herd do when confronted by one who has torn the veil, who has danced with the sacred terror, who has tasted the ash of God and smiled? Madness is the name the weak give to freedom. Madness is the name they whisper behind your back when you refuse to die their kind of death. But you must not listen, not even to yourself, especially not to yourself. For your thoughts are not your own, they are parasites, passed down, polished, poisoned. You think in borrowed voices, you feel with stolen hearts. You obey ghosts who died long before your birth. The true revolution is not against the world, it is against the puppeteer within. There is a reason you feel hollow even when you're surrounded. There is a reason your soul screams when the office lights flicker on. There is a reason no amount of achievement silences the howling at the edge of your dreams. You were made for the edge, not the center. You were made to pierce, not polish. But instead, you have become a well-behaved shadow. A ghost with a to-do list. A flame politely asking permission to burn. Do you not see it? Everything they gave you was designed to tame you. The schools were slaughterhouses of spirit. The jobs prisons with better marketing. The therapists confessors for the machine, laundering your rebellion into recovery. And the gurus, peddlers of sedation, opium with a smile, they tell you to breathe deeply while they suffocate your will. They tell you to forgive while they hang you for your rage. They speak of balance, but they mean surrender. They preach love, but fear power. But love without power is impotence. Forgiveness without fire is slavery. Peace without a sword is death in slow motion. You want peace? Then wage war within. Bomb your beliefs. Starve your saints, hang your habits from the gallows. Only then will you see what remains. Only then will you see you, not the son or daughter, not the citizen or worker, not the self-help project or spiritual mascot. You, naked and sovereign, a god with bleeding knuckles and eyes full of stars. There is no map to this place, no 10 steps, no mantra, no app. There is only the desert, the void, the silence where you must wrestle angels and devour demons. And if you survive, if you will emerge not with answers, but with a new hunger, a hunger not to fit in, but to rupture, not to be loved, but to be true, not to win, but to burn beautifully, utterly, without apology. For what are you if not flame? What are you if not revolt given flesh? This age does not need more followers, more healed people, more influencers masturbating their egos on digital altars. This age needs heretics, wild men, lion-hearted madwomen who piss on thrones and laugh at prophets. The ones who cannot be bought, branded, or broken. The ones who dream not of comfort, but of conquest, not of others, but of the self. The ones who know that to be alive is to walk forever with the abyss at your side and smile. Smile not because you are safe, but because you are free. Smile because you've seen the bottom and chose to rise without permission. Smile because the world fears you now, and rightly so. Do you feel it yet? That ancient thing stirring? That clawed hunger beneath the politeness? That sacred defiance masked as despair? It is not weakness. It is not sickness. It is the womb of your becoming. That ache? That's your godhood in labor. That scream? That's the sound of your chains snapping. That madness you fear, that trembling, that shaking, that urge to run into the wild, naked and weeping, is the most sane thing you've ever felt. Follow it. Trust it. That is your true north, not the opinions of corpses or the algorithms of parasites. You were born for this crossing. You were born for the mountain, the cave, the storm. You were born for the solitude, when no one's voice but your own echoes. You were born to bleed and chant and tear the stars from the sky to wear as armor. Do not look for approval. There is no applause at the end of this road. Only silence. Only the kind of stillness that comes when you finally stop lying to yourself. When you stop shrinking. When you stop asking for permission to exist. Then and only then, you will understand why you had to lose everything. Why it all had to collapse. Why the old gods had to die. And the old self with them, not as punishment, but as preparation. Because you could not be born into truth while still married to their lies. So grieve. Bury your idols. Sing their hymns one last time, and then burn the pages. Walk away from the temple with nothing but your hunger intact, and with that hunger, build your own altar. Bleed your own gospel. Speak not in borrowed phrases, but in the wild tongues of the self-creating. You are not here to be good, you are here to be real. And the real is rarely good. It is not safe, it is not friendly. It is not smiling in meetings and nodding in classrooms. It is clawed, cracked, furious. The real stinks of blood and starlight. It doesn't beg, it becomes. You think you are lost, but you are only unborn. You think you are broken, but you are only trapped. You think you are searching, but what you are really doing is remembering. Remembering what it felt like to burn, to devour, to scream so loud the sky cracked, to walk into the village square, heart in hand and declare, "This is me, and I will not be moved." Let the weak run. Let the meek inherit their padded hells. You must choose a different path, one of thorns and thunder, one where no one follows, because none can. One where the only thing louder than your footsteps is the silence of those who never dared. Yes, it is lonely. Yes, it is brutal. But it is yours. And that is worth more than any god, any lover, any lie. So here is your choice. Return to sleep, or awaken as fire. What will you choose, sleeping god? Then let the sky crack open, and the gods scream your name in envy, for you are no longer theirs. You have stepped beyond the herd, not merely in distance, but in kind. You have left not a city, but a species. You are now of the fireborn, the storm-crowned, the defiant angels who fell upwards. This is the third crucible, where memory is devoured, where history bleeds from your pores and identity withers like flesh in flame. You were taught to believe that memory is truth. It is not. It is a leash. A story told by those too afraid to stand naked before the abyss. Your past is not sacred. It is scaffolding. Tear it down. Burn your nostalgia. Shatter your myths. Your childhood was not innocence. It was imprisonment with toys. Your lineage is not legacy. It is dead men's chains dressed in gold. You must become your own ancestor. A man reborn owes nothing to the names that shaped him. Blood does not sanctify. Names do not command. Even your language is a cage, each word a compromise, each sentence a soft blade shaving away the raw flesh of becoming. Speak now in storms, in grunts and visions. Let your madness be your new mother tongue. You will be called arrogant. You will be called dangerous. Good. The eagle is arrogant to the sheep. The flame is dangerous to the barn. They will hate you precisely because you are free, and nothing terrifies the herd more than the sound of shackles falling. You are not here to be loved. You are here to resurrect. But resurrection is not a return, it is a rebellion. The dead you must raise is not the polite corpse they called your potential. It is the wild God buried beneath your compromises. Do not pity yourself. That is the last mask of pride. Do not soothe yourself. That is the first lie of cowardice. If you feel pain, do not medicate, magnify. Make it so vast, so loud, so sacred that the stars blink. Scream your sorrow until it becomes song. Let agony become architecture. Only the crucified rise, but not through mercy, through madness. And what of morality? What of goodness? Throw it in the river, let it drown. There is no virtue in obedience. There is no morality in mimicry. If your kindness is purchased by fear, it is not virtue, it is prostitution. If your patience is born from weakness, it is not noble, it is rot. You want to be good? Be dangerously good. Be the kind of good that tears empires down. The kind of good that walks into temples with a whip and a laugh. The kind of good that makes the meek tremble and the liars flee. There is no meekness in the Sunday. Your gentleness must come from power, or it is a lie. I ask you now, what do you worship? Look closely. Your God is where your time goes. Your God is who you fear to offend. Your God is the voice you obey when your soul weeps. And most of you, yes, most worship approval. You pray to algorithms. You offer your silence to corporations. You kneel before trends and call it progress. You have replaced the sacred with the market, the temple with the touchscreen, the priest with the influencer. But the influencer does not bless, he sells. You were made to walk on water, and now you drown in content. Where is your defiance? Where is your refusal? Where is your great no to the world? Every God that mattered began with a no. Every prophet that shattered history began with refusal. No to the law, no to the culture, no to the past. Your yes means nothing if you have never dared a holy no. Say no. Say no to comfort if it costs your sovereignty. Say no to belonging if it costs your flame. Say no to success if it costs your soul. And from that no, let a yes be born, a yes so violent, so luminous, so thunderous that it rends the sky in two. Yes to your fire. Yes to your hunger. Yes to your divine loneliness. That holy ache which no lover, no God, no drug can touch. This is not loneliness as the world knows it. This is sacred solitude, the throne room of those who dare be gods without throne. It is here, in this void, that you will meet the only presence that cannot be taken your own. Do not fear the void. The void is your mother. She will not cuddle you, but she will crown you. She will feed you nothing but yourself, and that is the only true feast. Let this be your initiation. Not into a cult, but into the cultless. Not into a movement, but into motion itself. You will never belong again. That is your price and your freedom. You will walk among the dead, and they will call you insane, cursed, lost. But in their eyes, you will see the flicker of something deeper, envy, the trembling recognition that you dared what they only dreamed. You have walked into fire and returned with your eyes full of stars. You have not been healed. You have not been saved. You have been resurrected. And now you are dangerous. Then come further, you flame-bleeding revenant. Come into the place where even time trembles. The fourth gate opens, not with keys but with screams your own. Not the scream of pain. No, this is older, more sacred. The scream of birth without a womb, of becoming without blueprint. This is where your bones remember what your mind has forgotten, that you were forged in storms, not stories. Time is not a river. Time is a parasite. It feeds on those who believe in clocks more than choices. It binds the sovereign to the calendar, the God to the deadline. But you must burn your watch. You must make war against the ticking tyrant. For the eternal does not live in hours but in instants. It lives in the moment you said no more, in the glance where truth cracked the world, in the silence after your last apology. Stop measuring your life by duration. Start measuring it by eruption. What moment split you? What hour shattered your mask? What gaze made the lie unbearable? Let that moment be your new birth certificate. You are not 28 or 42 or 19. You are one moment old, reborn at the hour of revolt. Born again, not of the flesh, but of the flame. This is not romantic. This is not poetic. This is violent. Birth always is. Rebirth doubly so. The self you were is a carcass now. Drag it through the desert. Mourn it. Spit on it. Love it. And then leave it. Its usefulness is spent. It was the cocoon, not the wings. You do not need healing. You need hunger. You need a truth that makes you vomit the old certainties. You need a vision so ruthless it makes every previous version of you look like betrayal. And that vision must come from your eyes, not theirs. You must see yourself unfiltered, not through mirrors, not through feedback, not through the gaze of lovers, fathers, gods. You must stare nakedly into the furnace of your being until even your soul begins to sweat. You must see what remains when the world no longer claps for you. You must witness yourself in the holy isolation where no applause dares echo. Only then does the real vision come. Not in language, not in light, but in presence. The bone-deep knowing that you are real not because they say so, not because you perform well, but because you are. This is the resurrection of presence. No more explanation, no more justification, no more branding, optimizing, adjusting. Let them misunderstand. Let them fear. Let them call you dark, wild, selfish, good. They are right. You are no longer digestible. You do not owe anyone your taming. And what of love? The world sings of it endlessly, sells it at every corner, paints it on every shattered wall. But what is love in a world of half people? What is love between two masks? You were not meant to be completed. You were meant to collide, to stand so whole in yourself that love becomes a meeting of gods, not a trade of weaknesses. You were meant to offer, not to beg, to demand, not to please. You were meant to bring storms, not scripts. Let this be the new love, where truth is the only aphrodisiac, where depth is sexier than prettiness, where silence together roars louder than flirtation. And if no one meets you there, then walk alone. Yes, alone. There is no shame in solitude. The lion walks alone. The mountain stands alone. The god creates alone. Loneliness is not a wound, it is a womb. Within it, you grow teeth. Within it, you build your throne of scars. The age of codependence must end. The age of the self-myth begins. Do not ask to be understood. Ask to be real. Ask to be raw. Ask to be struck dumb by your own presence. Ask to become the kind of being who, upon entering a room, makes the air change. Yes, that is your inheritance, not from your parents, but from the abyss. Claim it. Claim your unrepeatability. Claim your strangeness. Claim your sacred disobedience. You were not born to echo. You were born to deafen. The world is starving for your roar. Not your politeness. Not your polish. Your roar. The unique, blasphemous, beautiful sound of your being. The thunder no god can predict. The scream that splits the myth. And if you still doubt good, let doubt sharpen you. Let doubt be the whetstone on which your blade self is honed. But never, never let it stop you. Courage is not certainty. Courage is action in the face of sacred trembling. You must walk even when the path disappears. You must speak even when your voice cracks. You must create even when your hands shake and the world jeers. Especially then, Because that is the hour the gods watch closely. That is the hour your becoming becomes irreversible. And when you cross that final ridge, when you stand on the edge of all things known and feel the winds of non-being kiss, your face do not look back. Bow only to the horizon. For you are no longer man, no longer woman, no longer subject, consumer, sinner, brand. You are origin. You are eruption. You are the unnamed force that births new myths. You are the scream that started it all. Then let the final veil be torn, not gently, but like flesh yielding to fang. Let the last illusion shatter beneath your heel like a false idol made of sugar. This is the summit where even the stars dare not breathe, where language disintegrates into thunder, where identity burns like paper held to the sun. This is the last death, the death of the need to be anyone at all. All your life you have gathered names, titles, memories, masks. You have clung to them like lifeboats, thinking they would save you. They were your currency, your camouflage, your illusion of self. But here at the edge, none of them follow. They fall away like dead skin. They were never you. They were only the ghosts you fed to feel less alone. Here, there is no mirror, only the wind. Here, there is no audience, only the abyss. Here, there is no you, only that which is becoming through you. You are not the dancer. You are the dance, not the flame, the burning, not the God, the becoming of God. And what is left, not silence, not peace, but a roar so total it sounds like stillness, a pulse so ancient it has no name, a presence so vast it no longer needs form. You do not arrive at truth, you are stripped into it. This was never about self-improvement. This was always about self-immolation. The sacred fire that does not consume but reveals. You feared the fire because you thought it would destroy you, but it only devours what was never real. Now you walk differently, not with pride, not with power, with presence, as if the ground itself remembers you, as if gravity bends in recognition, as if the atoms step aside to let you pass. You do not speak often, but when you do, worlds change. You do not chase, you draw like storms, draw lightning. You do not seek love, you are love, the kind that ruptures, the kind that terrifies, the kind that reorders constellations. You are no longer becoming, you are beyond becoming, and yet still always becoming. Like the ocean, like fire, like truth. This is not the end, there is no end. There is only the moment your soul became undomesticated, the moment you realized the cage was never locked, the moment you stopped asking and started being. So go, not forward, not upward, not beyond, just go. As eruption, as essence, as echo of the scream that split the void. You will not be remembered, you will be felt, you will not be liked. You will be known by those who've also stood at the edge and laughed. You are not here to be saved. You are here to be sovereign. You are not here to be understood. You are here to understand yourself at last as God made flesh, as hunger-shaped lightning, as deathless will. And you are not dead. You are only now finally alive. Now go, burn, create, become, and leave no trace but fire.